these albondigas, I'm going to be using some onions, a handful of cilantro, some tomatillos, some tomatoes, a handful of mint leaves, and a pound of ground turkey. To season this up, I'm going to use some garlic powder, garlic salt, some chicken seasoning, black pepper, chicken bouillon, and some oregano. So in a large bowl, I already put in my ground turkey, and I'm just going to put in some of those onions. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my cilantro and just going to chop that up really fine. Throw about half of that cilantro into the albondigas, and the rest is going to go into the soup itself. Then go ahead and take your mint leaves and take them off of the stem. Now I promise this is not going to make your soup taste like peppermint. It gives it a really good flavor. It's kind of indescribable, but you can't make these albondigas without the mint. I'm going to go ahead and chop those up really fine, and again throwing about half into the albondigas and the rest into the soup. Then I'm going to go ahead and take about 1/6 of a cup of rice, so just fill up 1/3 and then just use half, and the rest is going to go into the soup. I'm just dicing up one tomatillo really fine. This one is going to go into the albondigas and the other ones are going to go into the soup. The tomatillos are going to make your soup taste a little bit lemony, so if you don't like that, go ahead and leave these out. Then I'm just going to dice up some tomatoes, again really fine into tiny little pieces, and I only did about half a tomato. Now it's time to season it up, so I'm going to go ahead and throw in my garlic powder, throwing in some chicken seasoning, then goes the black pepper, now it's time for my favorite ingredient, the chicken bouillon. Then I'm just going to go ahead and mix this up. Notice I didn't add an egg because ground turkey is very wet, so if I added an egg, these would just be really runny and they'd be falling apart. Then I'm just going to go ahead and put 1 pot of water to boil, and in the other pot I'm going to do some oil because I'm going to fry up my vegetables. As for vegetables, I'm just throwing in the basics, some potatoes, carrots, tomatillos, tomatoes, and onions. And this is so versatile, you can throw in some zucchini, some celery, pretty much anything you want. But then I'm just going to go ahead and saute this together and season it up just a little bit more using all of the seasonings I've already listed. The reason I'm boiling water in a separate pot is so that I can go ahead and throw that in while it's already hot and we don't have to sit and wait for it to boil, because that causes the vegetables to become soggy, and we don't want soggy vegetables, guys. And also we need the water to be boiling so we can go ahead and throw our albondigas in. So I'm giving that a little stir, and then I'm going to go ahead and throw in the rest of those mint leaves and the rest of the cilantro, and I'm going to throw in a little bit of oregano. So at this point, it kind of seems like it's a lot of herbs, but once they cook down, you're really not gonna get like big old bites of them. Now it's time for the star of the show, the albondigas. So to make things easier, I have these right next to the pot and I'm just rolling these up into a nice little ball, packing that really tight and dropping it into the water. So I'm just repeating this step with all of my albondigas, and I like to make them kind of small so that it seems like I have more. This rendered about 20 to 25 albondigas, so if you need to give it a stir, go ahead and do so very gently. At this point, the albondigas have been boiling for about 15 minutes or so, and you'll start to notice that the oil we added at the beginning and the oils from the turkey is starting to release, so just go ahead and take a bowl or a cup and a spoon and scoop all of that out. If you don't do this step, your albondigas are going to taste oily, and yeah, that is not good. I'm going to go ahead and season this again, and I know it seems like we've been using a lot of salt, but once you add the water, it really takes away all of the flavor, so we have to kind of go back and check the flavors again, season them again, make sure these come out delicious. So here I'm just going to crush up a little more oregano and add that to the soup. Now I really like the flavor that oregano gives it. At this point, the albondigas have simmered for a total of about 25 to 30 minutes. And you'll notice that when the albondigas start to cook, they'll float to the top, so I'm just pushing those back down into the water to make sure that they get fully cooked. So now that those potatoes are good, it looks like we are just about done. So I'm just going to go ahead and take a little more of that fat off. And there you have it, some delicious albondigas, perfect for this chilly weather that we're finally getting. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and again, there's millions of ways to make this, but this is just the way I like to do it. Don't forget to get creative in the kitchen. Recipes are roadmaps, not contracts. So give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and let me know if you tried it, and I will see you guys in the next video.